Welcome to Talk Tickers. Today, we are breaking down Block's third quarter 2025 earnings call, and let me tell you, this one was a real head-scratcher for the market. All right, let's just get right to it. The stock dropped 11%, and that single number right there, it tells you pretty much the whole story. Even with some good news, Wall Street was clearly spooked by something hiding under the surface. And this is where things get weird. You've got a revenue miss, yeah, and kind of mixed EPS, but also a beat on gross profit. They even raised their forecast for the year. So what gives? Why the huge sell-off? Well, it's because Block is really a tale of two companies right now, and we've got to unpack both sides to understand what's going on. Okay, let's start with the good news, the bull case. And honestly, it's all about one thing, Cash App. This thing is an absolute juggernaut. I mean, look at this. The key word here is acceleration. We're not just talking about steady growth. They went from 16% growth in Q2 to a whopping 24% year-over-year in Q3. That's not just ticking along, that's hitting the gas hard. And where's all that profit coming from? A massive, massive user base. We're talking 58 million people using it every single month as of September. That's the foundation they're building this whole financial super app on. But here's the kicker. They're not just getting more users, they're getting way better at making money from them. Their borrow feature, loan originations, shot up 134%. Their buy now, pay later service is now on track for $3 billion a year. And maybe most importantly, they're turning casual users into real primary banking customers, 8.3 million of them now. And management gave us this little nugget that just explains everything. People using these credit products are just better customers. They bring in 3 times more money, they spend twice as much, and they're 3 times less likely to leave. It's that classic flywheel, you know? The ecosystem just keeps getting stickier and more valuable. Okay, so that's the good stuff. But now we have to talk about the other side of the coin, the bear case. This is all about the Square business, and it's the reason the stock got hammered. Here's the problem in a nutshell. Look at this comparison. The total amount of money they processed, the GPV, grew by a solid 12%. But the actual profit they made from it? Only 9%. And for investors, that is a huge red flag. It's like you're working harder, but making less money on each sale. That's the opposite of what you want to see. Now, to be fair, management had an explanation. They said there was this 2.6 percentage point headwind because of a deal with a partner. But, the market heard that and was basically like, okay, but is that the whole story? The fear about efficiency in the Square business just didn't go away. So the big question is, what's the plan? How are they going to fix this and get Square's profit engine humming again? Well, they came to the call with a playbook. It's a 3-step plan, pretty straightforward. 1, go after bigger fish, the larger merchants. 2, simplify their pricing to get more people using their software. And 3, use AI to help sellers automate stuff and just run more efficiently. And it's kind of funny, while the market was stuck looking in the rearview mirror at that profit miss, management was basically saying, hey, look ahead. They sounded super confident that this plan's going to work. And they didn't just talk the talk, they actually raised their guidance for Q4 and for the full year, both for gross profit and operating income. They're pretty much telling the market, yeah, we hear you, but you're missing the point. We're on track to end 2025 with almost 20% growth. The future's bright. So you've got this incredible tension, right? Past problems versus future promises. It makes for a really interesting setup. So let's get to the bottom line. What's our call? How do you weigh all this? You've got Cash App, which is just on fire. Then you've got Square, which has a big question mark over it, and a management team that's promising everything's about to get a lot better. So where does that leave the stock? Okay, after looking at everything, our rating on Block is market perform. And here's why. You just can't deny how amazing Cash App is. That alone puts a pretty solid floor under the stock. But for the whole company to be a big winner, Square has to pull its weight. It has to prove it can turn all that volume into real profit. And until we see that happen, we think the stock is just kind of stuck, trapped between the bull story and the bear story. All right, now for our outrageous but plausible idea. If you love the Cash App story, but that Square business makes you nervous, you could think about a pairs trade. You'd go long on Block to bet on that incredible Cash App engine, and at the same time, you'd short an old school payments company, one that doesn't have a cool modern growth story. That way you're really just betting on Block's secret sauce while protecting yourself a bit. And of course, We have to say it. This is for informational purposes only. It is not financial advice.